Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be giving you some last-minute tips and tricks on how you can get ready in-game and in Grand Theft Auto Online for the new DLC that's going to be arriving in just a couple of hours, Smuggler's Run. So in the video I did earlier, I essentially touched on all the things you could do outside of the game, like making sure your console is ready to go, what time it was going to release, and this time we're going to be talking about what you can do in-game to actually get ready. Now, every time a new update comes, everyone always asks about money. You know, how much money do I need? What are the vehicle prices going to be like, etc. And one of the more common questions I get is, help, I don't have enough money for this update, or I don't think I have enough money for this update. And if you're in that sort of situation and you find yourself hours away from this update, well, here's a couple things you can actually do. These are some of the most popular money-making, I guess, ideas that I have for an emergency last-minute DLC sort of situation. So the first thing you can do is sell your cars. So we know in this update there's going to be a lot of airplanes, but we also know there's going to be cars too. So if you want to make room for some of the newer vehicles, or maybe you just notice you have a lot of older vehicles like lowriders or vehicles from 2014, 2015 that you no longer drive, well, you can actually take them to either Benny's or the Los Santos Custom Shop and sell them. And I think you can sell one car every 48 minutes. So I don't know when you're watching this video in relationship to how long left we have before the update comes out, but there's a good chance that you could easily get 5 to 6 to 7 cars. And if each one of those cars sells for a couple $100,000 each, that's a few $1,000,000 right there that you can instantly get, that you could bring to some of the other new vehicles that we're going to be getting, like the airplanes or the jets or the helicopters, or you can invest that into maybe the hangar that's going to be required for something like all those planes, storing them and whatnot. So that's the first thing I recommend. Sell your cars. Check all your garages. I know I have the maximum number of garages. There's at a minimum 1 or 2 that you haven't driven in like 6 or 7 months. Those are the ones you should probably sell, get rid of, and try and find, you know, which ones can get you the most amount of money in the least amount of time. So that's kind of strategy number 1. Strategy number 2 is to downsize your properties. So what I mean by this is go from more expensive options to less expensive options. You can do this with the CEO offices. You can do this with the biker clubhouses, but they specifically work really well with the apartments. So for example, if you're one of those guys that has multiple high-end apartments, you don't need multiple high-end apartments. You just want that apartment for the 10-car garage. So what you can do is you can downsize from a high-end apartment to a 10-car garage, which will save you a couple $100,000 each time you do it, because you're going to be trading in your property for something much cheaper, as the garages are a lot less expensive than the high-end apartments. So that's one thing you can do. Like I said, you can do it with the CEO offices. You can do it with the biker clubhouses. I have heard reports that you can do it with the yacht, but I don't think that ended up working, so don't take my word for it there, as you might end up losing money. But I know for a fact, as I've done it with the offices and for apartments, that if you downsize them, you will get a little bit of extra money back, which at the end of the day is great news. The third thing you can do is take advantage of the last-second sales. So right now, there's double payouts for import-export cars. There's 25% extra boosting on the bunker stuff. Take advantage of that. So some of you guys might not have checked your vehicle warehouses. Check them. You might have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 cars that you can sell at the last minute and get a couple $100,000 more. Same with the bunker. Do them right at the last minute up until the very end, and you might find yourself walking away with a couple $100,000, which could be nice and could be the difference between you getting that last extra vehicle and then walking away not having it and being disappointed. So that's something that's pretty cool. And then the final last emergency thing you can do is get a shark card. Now, I don't recommend shark cards unless you have a sale or a bonus going along with it that gets you like 50% more, 25% more. I think one that everyone gets right now is 15 or 10%, which is okay. But like I said, if you do have one of those special ones, a shark card is by far the quickest way to get money. Is it the most economical? No. But to some people, it might be worth it. They might have work or school, might not have time to grind, and they're just interested in the new content. So it's impossible to rule out a shark card doesn't work for everyone. So you can get that. And that's one kind of emergency way in which you can get all the funds you need for all the new content. All right, let's move away for some money tips and let's talk about some general miscellaneous tips. So the next one I can give you is just familiarize yourself with the CEO or MC system. And if you've never started one of those, you probably need to. You need to get it going. You need to get familiar with it because there's a good chance that running this hangar, this HQ, is going to require you to be a CEO or an MC. So get used to the menu, get used to all the features and all the quirks of each one, like how many people you can have, what roles they do, etc. Some of the things the CEO does differently than the biker stuff. So get associated with that. I'm sure you guys are, but if there's some newcomers out there, just know that the stuff in Smuggler's Run is likely going to require you to be one of those two. The next tip I can give you guys is fly some planes, fly some jets, fly some helicopters, fly some airplanes, because that's what the majority of this update is going to be. And that's very unusual, as most vehicles that we get in online are land vehicles. So familiarize yourself with the planes, get used to flying them, in tricky situations, as we're going to be using them in missions and using them in free mode too. So I just don't want you guys to feel like a fish out of water when the update comes and it requires you to have all these different planes and all these different helicopters and jets. So like I said, just spend the next couple hours flying around in some jets or whatnot. It's actually going to be a lot of fun and you'll get used to the kind of way they feel, the way they land, etc. So when the update does come out, you'll be nice and prepared and ready to go. Okay, the next tip I can give you, start thinking of where you want your hangar to be. So the reason I say this is because you might want to put it in a specific spot in relationship to some of the other buildings you have. So for example, you might want your hangar really, really close to your CEO office, or you might want your hangar really, really close to your bunker. So start thinking of some of the popular locations, and even though we don't know exactly where they are right now, where they're going to be, we know that there's a good chance it's going to be at a couple locations. So just do some brainstorming, figure out on the map where your vehicle warehouses are, where your bunker stuff is, where your CEO office is, and then try and align it according to that, because they're probably going to go hand in hand, and you'll probably be using both of them a good amount. So it's probably a good thing that they're close together. Moving on to the next tip, get ready to buy some of the older planes. So as we saw in the trailer and as we saw in some of the screenshots, older vehicles like the Titan, the Luxor Deluxe, and the Cuban I've been seen in the hangars. So there's a good chance that we could store them in there, and there's also a good chance that they could be upgraded in there too. So if that's the case, be prepared to buy some of the older planes if you don't already own them. Hopefully you do, because some of the ones that we've seen in there, like the Titan, the Luxor Deluxe, and the Cuban, are pretty expensive, either multi-millions of dollars or in the upper hundreds of thousands of dollars. So hopefully you already own those from the years and years of them being online, but if not, just be prepared to buy some of those older planes. Okay, this one should be self-explanatory, but don't get banned and don't get put in bad sport. So if you get banned, you're going to get a 30-day suspension. So you're going to miss the DLC for 30 straight days. And if you get put in bad sport, you're not going to be able to play with your friends. You're going to be stuck in this kind of, lobby of purgatory, which is not going to be good. So be on your best behavior over the next couple hours. Don't do anything shady to get yourself a last-minute ban. That would absolutely suck, and I wouldn't want to see you guys have to miss out on the update because, you were messing around with a mod or something like that and end up getting banned. So just be careful with that. The next tip I can give you guys, and this is a big one, you don't have to buy everything at once. So like I said, you don't have to buy everything at once. If you are tight on cash, you can share with your friends or your crew members. So for example, you could buy one plane while your friend decides to buy another, and then you can swap and figure out if you like it, and wait for the discounts too. So with the gun running stuff, we saw a lot of stuff go on sale about, 4 to 5 to 6 weeks in. And there's a good chance that Rockstar is going to do that with the Smuggler's Run stuff too. About a month and a half later, it's going to go on sale. So if you really want something, but you don't want to spend all that cash, maybe wait for the discounts. And also, wait for me to be like the test dummy and buy everything, because I am going to. I'm going to be doing a big spending spree tomorrow on stream. So I'm going to buy everything. So if you want to get a better glimpse at, what you think you like versus what you might not like, check out my video. But remember, just don't buy everything on day one. Take your time. All right, moving on. The next tip I can give you guys, reorganize your weapons. So when gun running came out, you might have, gotten a specific weapon loadout to better help yourself on the missions or better help yourself combat the vehicles that came with gun running. Well, you might want to go to your MC Clubhouse or your mobile operations center or your office and redo your weapons. There's going to be a lot of aircrafts in this update, so you may want to get the rocket launcher back out. You may want to get the homing launcher back out. Focus on the weapons, though. Get ones that you think will be great for this update because you may have ended up changing that out with gun running. And speaking of gun running, and the final tip that I can give you guys today, utilize the stuff that came with gun running. So I don't know if you guys have caught on to this, but gun running was basically an anti-air DLC. We got a lot of things like the anti-aircraft trailer, the APC, SAM batteries for a bunch of attachments that could shoot things out of the sky, whereas Smuggler's Run is all about aircrafts. So these updates are going to rival each other. The stuff in gun running is perfectly meant to combat the stuff that's coming out in Smuggler's Run, which is kind of ironic that these updates are coming out back to back. So if you've ignored the gun running stuff, or you just haven't been interested in the anti-aircraft trailer, or you weren't interested in getting the APC upgraded because you didn't really care about shooting stuff out of the sky, well, now might be the time to not ignore stuff like this, because this update is going to be all about the aircrafts. There's going to be a ton of them, and if you're not ready, they might dominate you. So make sure you're just not going to get overrun, and you use all that new stuff from gun running to its best purpose to take all these new planes out of the sky. But anyways, that's all the information that I'm going to be talking about for you guys today. Those are some of the best emergency tips that I can give you guys for some last minute advice as far as when this update is going to be coming out and getting ready for it when it does launch in just a few short hours. Let me know if you have any other tips that could be cool like this that you would maybe want to share with others in the comment section down below. Let us know there. If you did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.